And a very warm welcome to you all to the eFootball Championship 2024 Arsenal FC Finals. This is the 5th club finals event that we have had so far this campaign, which is brought to you by Konami, and this time in partnership with Arsenal FC. Now today we have 8 finalists who will be duking it out to get their hands on these 2 trophies here, but that's not all that they'll be taking home with them, because of course they're looking to book that coveted place in the World Finals come this summer, which is where we will see who will be crowned as the King of Kings, both for mobile and console platforms. So having said that, we have an explosive day of competition coming your way, a day of excitement, of thrills and spills, surprises as well. But not only that, we also even have a group of death. So much to get stuck into. So let's go ahead and find out who will be gunning their way to the finals. So there you have it. Once more, a hugely exciting day awaits us. I'm Summer Hunter. I'll be your host throughout the afternoon. And of course, so much to talk about. As ever, once more joined by my favorite wingman, Harry Channon, or maybe I should call him Harry Cannon.
Harry Cannon.
Oh,
that's so good.
You gave me the idea, to be fair.
I did, and I wish I hadn't been a supporter of a particular Arsenal rival. But today is about Arsenal, and it is about the players that have made it this far. We've had 4 events already. I mean, there's only a couple left, so the time and the spots are running out at the World Finals.
They certainly are. Well, let's leave your heart aside for today. Let's put on that professional hat, as I know you do.
I'll try.
Always do it so
I'll try my
well.
best.
I haven't even had the chance to introduce your partner in crime, Stuart. Well, we're calling you Sir Stuart Philip Wesley.
Okay, it's that regal middle name that seemingly is my, it's my downfall, folks.
It's my last chance of season to say it.
You've preyed on my downfall.
You know.
It's finally happened. It has happened. Yeah, I'm here to keep Harry in check, realistically, and making sure that he does keep that professional hat on. But yeah, I'm delighted to be back.
Oh, I love
it. Again, with Arsenal on deck, this is shaping up, as you quite rightly said, to be a group of death and certainly a bit of a shark tank across both platforms.
Well, it's going to be brilliant, that is for sure. So I'm sure many of you have already been with us throughout this season. You already kind of know how this works. But for those of you who may be new to the competition this season, we do want to just give you a very quick look at how it all works. The format, how we got here today. There have been several rounds of qualifications, which has led the finalists to feature in this final round to represent Arsenal come July, I believe it is. So there you have it. 4 representatives from 4 different regions across the world, which is broken down between Eastern Asia, Oceania, and other areas. That is 1 region. Number 2 is Western Asia. Number 3 is Europe and Africa. And last but not least, all the way across the pond, we have the Americas as well. But whenever it comes to the formats for today specifically, I'm going to hand it over to you, my man. You can walk us through how it all shapes up.
Yeah, we've been through a couple so far, haven't we? And if it's your first time joining us, we essentially have 2 separate platforms. We have console and mobile. Everyone within each platform plays each other once in the group stages. So 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw, none for a loss. And then at the end of it, we have our 2 players from each platform that have the highest amounts of points, and then they play against each other in the final. So that final, knockout stage rules, so extra time, penalties if needed, which adds to all the nerves, and it's going to be a good day today. I could feel it in my bones.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And you're usually right whenever you get those feelings, so, you know, I think we're in for a nice little afternoon, Wes.
I think so.
I think so. With the array of players that we can see on the deck, as we quite rightly said, it is for lack of a better term, it's a brutal format in terms of you've got potentially 3 games and you're gone from a group stage. So it will be very interesting to see who comes through both of these into these grand finals later on. And of course, if we have to sit through the dreaded extra time penalty shootouts from a commentator standpoint, we'll be nervous. I'm sure the players will be as well. Yeah.
All right, well, guys, players, do these two a solid and try not to go that far, right? Try and get it done in the 90 minutes if you can, just for the sakes of their hearts and minds and everything else. But no, jokes aside, why don't we go ahead and get to know our finalists for the mobile platform. Of course, there's only going to be 4 players here for today. So very quickly, just to read out who they are, we have Dennis Bernard from Indonesia. He is the regional winner of Asia East and Oceania and others. From India, Mr. Tomboy, who is the regional winner of Asia West. Then we have from China, FIREWOLF, who is the regional winner of Europe and Africa. He was also at the FC Bayern finals. You may well remember him from that. And qualifying for the second time this season at a finals, we have Lamtti from Morocco, who is the regional winner of the Americas. So let's go down the list then, shall we, guys? And just help people get a more of an understanding as to what they offer whenever they line up against their opposition for today. So let's start with Dennis Bernard from Indonesia.
Yeah, let's do it. And we often say that the mobile platform is kind of, for our experience, a little bit of a young, it's still within its infancy type of platform, and that allows the stars to shine through. I would say, looking at the accolades each of these players have, I mean, Dennis Bernard is probably one of the most storied players of the mobile platform that we have competing here today. Indonesia national champion 2 years running, 2022-2023. IF E-League 2023 champion as well. That's the Indonesia Football E-League. And then, of course, the Dunia Games 2023 champion as well. So lots of accolades there. We'll see if he can live up to them today.
And from Joy Boy to Tomboy, they seem to really like the name Boy in India, don't they, for some reason? But we do have another Indian contestant today. What do we know about him, Mr. Tomboy?
Yeah, in terms of Tomboy, as the kind of the you know, as we talk about the nations being emerging, India seemingly are one of those kind of prominent nations. We've seen, as you rightly said, Joy Boy. We've seen notable players coming through to these club finals, both previously and obviously today. Tomboy, relatively inexperienced at this level, but I wouldn't count him out of potentially showing up his opponents, because again, sometimes without that experience, you can kind of let the shackles off and really allow your game to prosper. So we'll see whether he's able to do that.
FIREWOLF, someone who's shown us already a taste of what he's capable of.
Yeah, was a previous finalist back in Munich. He sadly fell short back in the Allianz, just 19 years old, the Chinese representative here. We'll be hoping to see a little bit more out of FIREWOLF. Of course, his teammate, if I remember correctly, was able to qualify at that particular event. He'll be hoping today is his day to steal the crown.
And last but not least, Lamtti will have a crack at finally being able to test his mettle against rivals at one of these finals.
Yeah, I mean, he qualified, I think if I remember rightly, for a previous event, wasn't able to...
I believe it was for Bayern Munich,
It might have been for Munich, where he wasn't able to play or to attend. With this, though, able to attend here today, and you'd arguably say as well, in terms of the types of players he's got at his disposal, it may actually probably benefit him a little bit more with the likes of Havertz and Saka and Martinelli to have those types of players at his disposal. 21 years old, say with the mobile version, of course, as well. We talk about thumbs, folks. It sounds a bit silly, but you know, your dexterity and things like that, they do come into play. So it depends on how quickly he can get adjusted to this.
Not just for mobile, for console as well,
Oh,
I would imagine, right?
Obviously.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the running order of the fixtures, so you know who's going to be playing and when. Of course, we want you to stick around the entire afternoon, but just in case, here is how it is going to look. So up first, you have Mr. Tomboy against FIREWOLF on stream. Remember this, I'll come back to that in just a moment. That is followed by Dennis Bernard versus Lamtti, also on stream. Fixture number 3, Mr. Tomboy will take on Lamtti. Then match number 4, we'll see FIREWOLF line up against Dennis Bernard. It's going to be a double header for Dennis Bernard because he will then take on Mr. Tomboy in match number 5 on stream. And last but not least for the group, it's going to be FIREWOLF hosting Lamtti. So when I say on stream, all that means is that those are going to be the fixtures which are available for you to watch live on our streaming platform. So there you have it. What do you make of these fixtures, guys?
Well, for me, Wes, it has to be Dennis Bernard as the one to watch here. When you look at his accolades, his previous accomplishments, he kind of stands out from the rest of the competition here. And I'm just trying to think, obviously we saw FIREWOLF in Germany, fell short on that occasion. Maybe he's the one to step up today.
Yeah, you may think of him in terms of, well, that's where we saw him last, but he may have learnt those lessons. We spoke a lot over these club finals in terms of players getting that experience of being at tournaments and tournament esports and getting used to the formats, and he may just carry those lessons into today. Of course, we'll have to see if that allows him a berth into the grand final of today. But certainly, I think FIREWOLF may just be one to keep your eye on and just keep a watcher.
Well, I tell you what else you need to keep an eye on, and that is the console group, because we are calling this the group of death, and for very good reason. I'll leave it to the guys to explain in just a moment. But first, let's actually just give you the lineup who are going to be playing in this group stage. So we've got Axe from Japan, who is the regional winner of Asia East and Oceania and others. Then Usmakabyle, someone you all know very well indeed, from Algeria. He is the regional winner of Asia West. He has already participated in 2 finals thus far at FC Barcelona and AC Milan. Then Urma from Romania, another familiar name for you, who is the regional winner of Europe and Africa. He, of course, was the AS Roma captain for the last 2 seasons of eFootball. And then last but not least for you, MelianTheKing from Argentina, the regional winner of the Americas. So why don't you take us through? Axe will be looking to bury the axe, I guess, today against his competition.
Yeah, he'll certainly be looking to do so. I had the great pleasure of watching or being a part of the E-Asian Cup, where he finished up as a runner-up with Japan, got edged out by Indonesia in the final. That was a co-op event, though, so that was where you had multiple players playing with each other rather than just as a solo. It's great to see Axe come through as a solo competitor, because now we'll get an understanding of, well, what's his play style as a 1v1 player as opposed to potentially maybe leaning on teammates, and to come through into what has now appeared, and certainly will go into in great depth, to come into a group of death like this is, it's going to be tough going forward. And
that's because you have players of the ilk of Usmakabyle, who is a veteran, but not just a veteran, he's a titan of eFootball.
And again, it comes down to the accolades he's been able to pick up along the way throughout his career. I mean, 3-time world champion. It's been sort of a rule of 3 for Usmakabyle, hasn't it? Because 3-time world champion, fairly certain he's won 3 iterations of this competition as well. But it's also his 3rd time at a club finals, as you rightly said, Semra. But he finished
3rd time's a charm, my man.
Runner-up in Barcelona against Footy Facil, runner-up against Kalahar at the AC Milan club finals. He'll be hoping the number 3 is lucky for him today here at the Arsenal finals.
But he'll have to get past the likes of Urma, another really stiff competitor based on what we've seen the last few seasons as well.
Yeah, he's one of my favourite players to watch, is Urma on a 1v1 level. Me and Harry have seen him almost grow up kind of in our eyes, realistically. Yeah. We've seen so many tournaments where he's been a part of, and so many kind of expectations that he's completely decimated. And again, we talk about him as ability-wise. He's very much up there as a 1v1 competitor. So again, to add to this list of a group stage, again, it's going to be, you know, in terms of the console final at the very least, there's going to be 2 very, very high-powered players in that console final.
We are talking about eFootball royalty here whenever we talk about those 2, aren't we? Well, somebody who will be looking to add his name to the royal list is MelianTheKing from Argentina, looking to go home as the crowned winner. Yeah,
rounds out the group of death, and he may seem the odd one out here, but let me tell you, he is also a world champion back in 2021. Won the eFootball Open back then for the Americas region on PlayStation 4. I believe as well he was using Arsenal back then, so he should know the squad. It's changed a little bit since then, but the nuclear should still be there for him. He should still be able to get the best out of this squad. So this really is just 4 incredible players for console. Should shape up for a fantastic day today.
Well, I can't wait to see where you guys think this group is going to be won or lost. So let's go ahead and take a look at the list of fixtures in their respective order. You have up first Axe taking on Urma. Match number 2 is MelianTheKing against Usmakabyle. Then fixture number 3, Axe takes on Usmakabyle on stream, followed by another match on stream, Urma lining up against MelianTheKing. Then for match number 5, Axe takes on MelianTheKing, and last but not least, Urma Usmakabyle on streaming. That is where it's at, and very potentially that's where the group could be decided.
It could well be, and when we look at some of these fixtures, Wes, I mean, it's so tough to call. I can't expect you to pick out just one. I know Semra's just picked out Urma Usmakabyle, which is, I think if you've followed this competition in the past, you know those 2 have experience. But when we've listed Axe, MelianTheKing's accomplishments, how promising they look, it's difficult to pick out one match from this set of matches in the group stages that would be the headline act.
It's almost laughable as to how high-powered and how high quality this is going to be here today. I think if you're looking at potentially games to keep your eye on, though, I think the sleep hit may be Irma versus MelianTheKing. I think that might be that sleeper hit, which we sometimes get in these competitions where you look at a game, you think, well, it'll be okay, and then it just takes on a completely different form. I think that, and it also may potentially hinge on how the group looks after that fixture. I think that one's the key one.
So whether you expect it or not, it looks like we're going to have all kinds of blockbuster clashes then on the cards. Let's have a look at the running order for you of fixtures that are going to be available on stream. So there is, of course, that mixture of console and mobile matches. Here you go. Well, up first, we've got Mr. Tomboy against FIREWOLF. That's mobile. We have a second mobile match, which is DennisBernard against Lamtti. Then we switch over to console, where we have fixture number 3, Axe taking on Usmakabyle. Another console game for you. Urma will line up against MelianTheKing. Then we go back over to mobile once more for Mr. Tomboy versus DennisBernard. And last but not least for the group stage, over to console, where Urma, Usmakabyle, that headliner, as Harry coined it, that is going to be the last fixture before we move on to the mobile grand final and then the console grand final. Now, we obviously have so much reason to feel really excited about everything that's coming up, but I do want to just keep your interest on the edge for a moment, because I do want to give you all the reminder that the players are not the only ones who can win something here today. You, in fact, also have the opportunity to earn points yourself. How do you do it? You can go ahead and pick up your eFootball points, 500 of them, by joining the viewing campaign. All you have to do is click on that banner right there below. You join the streaming through the game itself, and voila! 500 eFoot points for you to enjoy. Apart from that, of course, there's always news and developments about the game, about the competition that come up all the time. We want you to make sure that you're up to date on the latest, so please do head over to our social media platforms, the various platforms that we do have, and that way you won't miss out on anything at all. So guys, I do believe it's time for us to get ready for our grand curtain raiser of the day. Drumroll, please. And please welcome Mr. Tomboy versus FIREWOLF to kickstart our day. Enjoy!
I'm Venan. My YouTube channel name is Mr. Tomboy. I'm from Hyderabad, Telangana state. As a content creator, I'm very proud to represent my country, India, in Arsenal Club finals. Huge thanks to all my supporters. I'm here because of you. I'm really excited to play my matches, and also a big thanks to Konami for giving me this opportunity. And do subscribe and support Mr. Tomboy YouTube channel.
大家好，我是来自 CNFC 战队的烽火蓝，我很高兴这次能够参加由克乐美举办的阿森纳俱乐部赛事。这次我将代表欧洲与非洲地区参赛，我很期待能够为大家奉献几场精彩的比赛。希望我们能够赛出风采，赛出水平，狭路相逢勇者胜。
Well, thank you very much, Semra. Great to hear from the players as always. As you can see, they are just about ready to go, Wes. The question I have for you is, as we look at Mr. Tomboy versus FIREWOLF, can FIREWOLF have that short-term memory that is needed at this level to go one step further and actually qualify for the World Finals? He's tried it once in Munich as we're underway. Question is, can he go on further here? Is he might actually have an opening chance? And well, what a way to open the finals. I believe that is FIREWOLF in front. And I think he's answered the question for you, Wes. 1-0 already.
Yeah, it's a really quick start from him. Really, really off to the races. Very quick interception. And then finds the back of the net. Just see it there again. Get through one-on-one, manages to put the ball straight into the back of the net, and that is exactly that short-term memory loss that you said that they needed. FIREWOLF in terms of that ability. Found the back of the net really quickly. It's only, what, 3 in-game minutes gone, and as we said before, mobile games, they go so quickly. He's got to be really careful to keep hold of that that 1-goal lead.
Well, we haven't yet had an opportunity to introduce his opponent here. To Tomboy, but FIREWOLF was in was in Germany. The man from China has some defending to do here at the moment. Though, is in Ketia for Tomboy. Threatens to come forward. Had that experience going to the Allianz. Met, of course, Thomas Müller. That would have just spurred him on having been through that experience. Coming forward and as well with Jesus, skips past his man. And the cross coming in towards Kai Havertz. It can, but not before Aaron Ramsdale is able to intervene.
I'd just say it was a quick release there, trying to get that into the box, and Havertz was waiting, but Odegaard will try and play this one down the line.
"20 minutes gone, near enough, and FIREWOLF, most of the time he comes forward, looks very, very promising. Gonna have another chance here, Ben White far side. Havertz dispossessed. For Mr. Tomboy. Question he will be asking himself, lots of questions to be asked at this stage of the season, Wes. He will be asking himself, can I defend some of these FIREWOLF attacks? He's done so since conceding that goal. The bigger question is, can he string
बनो सिर्फ यार से सुपरस्टार every day with the widest range of unique styles and collections from Myntra.
Wolf again has found Odegaard out here wide left, but final pass just not there at the moment. Odegaard now for Tomboy. Chance in the final third, the cross can't beat the first man. Now Wes, as we get a chance to just sit back as the players decide to make some changes, kind of digest what has been a, I don't want to say attritional first half, but definitely the happier of the two is FIREWOLF because of that goal straight away starting the game. Perfect start to our club finals.
Yeah, it was a perfect start for FIREWOLF. He needed that early goal just to set the tone. We'll see it again here. Thank you to our production team. They were right on it to show us the replays there. It was, again, just a pinch of the ball from kickoff. Just managed to tuck that one home. And again, for the rest of it, it's kind of been a bit of an even game between these two.
Well, it has. It's, I think when Tomboy looks back at that, you see how easy it is, just straight down the middle, starting the game. That's an area you don't want to concede. You can concede those wide areas, but Got your opponent running straight at you. Gonna be difficult. Chance though from the corner. Oh, it's headed in. It's Eddie Nketiah. The pause works out perfectly for Mr. Tomboy. And as half-time looms, Wes, it's Nketiah at the front post. Great header to even proceedings here.
Yeah, it's the perfect tonic. It really was. Just after that pause has happened, it's a short corner. Beautiful ball in there. I believe that was from Thomas Partey. As we'll see it again here, just chips the ball up, and it's Eddie Nketiah, player of the week. Eddie Nketiah, and Ramsdale will be really disappointed with that one, but Mr. Tomboy has his equaliser.
Well, questions asked by us and answered by our players here in the group stages. And Tomboy could go for the 1-2 punch here. The goal scorer, Nketiah, on that far side. It's punched well by the goalie. Firewolf's breaks, as we saw to start the game, have been fairly good, but that time around, not concise enough. And we end the first half, Wes. Tomboy 1, Firewolf 1. Both scoring from their only shots of the game. It's difficult, really, to see the way the land lays after what we've just seen there in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk at length about being clinical and taking your opportunities when they come. Both these two players had one opportunity and have taken it. And again, it's just that balance between the two now of coming out of the second half. What have you got in that second half? And more importantly, for it being the first game of the day, or do you want to try and take all three? I know which camp I would probably fall into, which is just take all three. It's, you need to win. We've seen many players within these club finals that may play for a draw and then it kind of turns into a loss. You don't want to be kind of leaving points on the table. So we'll see the goal again here. Again.
His first to it. Ramsdale well beaten, but looks like we're underway here. Back in the second half. Sides have swapped, of course. It's Firewolf still in that second strip for Arsenal. He's starting the second half almost as well as he did the first, but time around, Tomboy attacking in the home strip from right to left, or to avoid conceding. Tomiyasu. Boy, these last 15 or so in-game minutes since and leading up to the goal. Been just seemingly finding his groove. Settling in very nicely.
The attendance for this match was 72,306.
That well by Ødegaard there for Mr. Tomboy. Yeah, looking to try and thread through Neil Smith-Rowe. Nketiah. Jesus now just goes for a shot. Don't know if that was the right option there, Wes. There was a runner through.
It was. It looked like Ødegaard had just peeled off into that left-hand side, but it's in those split seconds of decision is that once you've made them, especially with eFootball, you're kind of committed to them.
20 in-game minutes to go then. Of course, we spoke about the console group here at the Arsenal Club Event Finals being very, very difficult to split. Same applies to this mobile group stage. So many talented players. You have to be to get to this level.
It's such a long time that they have to play. We've spoken about it at length on previous club finals. If this is the first one that you're tuning into, as the ball goes into the box, Tomiyasu gets it headed clear. There's so many games that these guys play just to get in preparation for these types of events. You can't just turn up and expect to win.
And Nketiah goes for goal, but too much pressure on him. Right, Wes, as we take another look at what was potentially a good chance. The first touch was good to get it out of his feet, Nketiah, but the amount of hours and games that go into preparing and qualifying for this stage of the competition, it's more than a lot of people realise. And of course it's easy for us to sit here in cold blood and say, oh, he should have done this, could have done that, and no doubt the people at home as well probably saying, yeah, those commentators are right.
It's very easy.
It's very difficult when you're in their position in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, if you don't have a phone in your hand or you don't have a controller in your hand, it is very easy, folks, to sit here and go, that's what I should have done. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
There's been events where I've been a part of where I look back on it and look at it and go, I could have done something different. And these guys will have that same type of feeling. They'll have a lot of game film to look on.
Yeah.
And they'll look back on it and go, that's what I should have done, or that's what I could have done. But the problem is that you almost get into like kind of tunnel vision almost, in the sense of you'll kind of forget what's happening and you'll just be focused on what your icon is looking like on the screen. You'll kind of almost disregard. It'll almost be like the kind of the fog of war almost, where you just forget where everybody else is on the pitch.
Absolutely, you can see the action is about to resume, and if I remember correctly, we're down to about the last 10 in-game minutes, Wes. So with how quickly that clock does tick down, I have to say the next big chance could be the one that decides it. It's FIREWOLF coming forward. Havertz can't latch onto it.
Number 21, number 29.
Just waiting for the press here is Tomboy.
Number 17, Cedric Suarez.
No doubt has in the back of his mind that this may be the last chance of the game for both players. Last chance to maybe snatch those 3 points, which could be very valuable here in this round robin group stage. That's a through ball towards Suarez, and who can find it? It's Nketiah! Mr. Tomboy has stolen those 3 points.
Come with the hour, come with the man. It's Eddie Nketiah once again. As we said, it all just depends on what your play style is. Do you want to kind of tuck up and take a draw? Not Mr. Tomboy, not at all. Again, it came from a bit of fortune. That through ball towards Suarez, see me just losing my head. You saw Cedric Suarez just down the right-hand side, and you can see the defender, tired legs. It just made its way through him. But again, composure here. There's so many different things he could have done. He could have shot across goal with Cedric Suarez, but no, he went for the guaranteed opportunity, which you've seen so many times within eFootball esports. And Eddie Nketiah knocks it home and stuck to what he knew. He stuck to the game plan and then just slowly got himself back into the game. We'll see the highlights on the screen here. You can see, it was literally just a dispossession from kickoff. Now, granted, you could certainly look at it and go, oh, well, it was a bit of almost a flash goal, as it were, in the sense of you weren't really expecting it. You get dispossessed from kickoff, and then you might think to yourself, well, I'll just stick to my own game plan, because it's so early in the game. You might think, well, I'll stick to what I know, and that's what he did to get himself back into the game. And again, it all came from a pause as well. There was a pause just before that corner kick was taken.
Yes.
Brilliant idea from him to go short, dribble into the box, and then just chip it up and look for his header at the near post.
You think we'll be seeing quite a lot of that today? Obviously, we saw Nketiah with 2 headers for Mr. Tomboy. Does enough to earn him the 3 points. Do you think that's going to be one of the focal points we see here today throughout the Arsenal Club event finals, throughout both mobile and console?
Well, potentially. I mean, you look at the players. I mean, we already saw the aerial prowess there of Eddie Nketiah, but you look at Kai Havertz, you look at players like Kirior at centre half, or in terms of like from set pieces. You've got Saliba, Gabriel. You've got so many players you can call on from a set piece. It wouldn't be the most stupid idea to maybe lean into set pieces if you're using Arsenal FC.
So, Semra, Mr. Tomboy, it's the case of the boys again. The boys from India coming through, and so far, so good. 3 points.
So we know who Harry's going to be hedging his bets on then throughout the day.
Us boys got to stay together.
I tell you what, though, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we do love a lot of late drama, don't we? Because it just adds that extra element of spice to everything that we're watching. So we obviously saw how this one panned out. But what happened in console, guys? It was a 5-goal thriller. Urma came out on top. He just slightly edged it against Axe, meaning he takes those 3 crucial points to put him top of the leaderboard for right now. I'm looking at both of you trying to decipher that reaction. Harry, walk me through that facial expression right now. What's going on there?
It's crucial because I don't expect a lot of 3-point swings within this group. We said how strong everyone is within it. I mean, look at the names. If you know eFootball, esports, you know how good these players are. If you've come up against them online, you know how strong they can be. 3-2 is a scoreline that obviously says both of these men came here to play, but 3-point swings, I think they're going to be quite rare in this group, and it's going to be whoever can benefit off of those 3 points is going to find themselves in a very, very strong position later on.
Yeah, I mean, from a kind of a psychological standpoint, to get the first 3 points on the board in that console group, it's going to be a massive plus point for Urma. For Axe, of course, it'll be a source of disappointment. Of course, we don't quite know how the goal swing happened. We don't know if it was, a 3-goal comeback from Urma or whether it was just back and forth, box to box. But either way, the result really tells the story there is that Urma has the first 3 points of that group, and it kind of puts everybody else really on notice to say, look, if you don't come out and win your games, you're going to be in trouble.
So it's good to start it strong, obviously, because you really set down a statement of intent. But I think what I've liked so far is the fact that both of them have been marginal wins. So it does show you that both a mobile console, just how tight and competitive it's looking like it's going to be today. And of course, for the neutral, that's what we want. So just before we head into the next match, which is also going to be mobile for you to watch, between Dennis Bernard and Lamtti, who is finally going to show us what he's capable of, considering we didn't get the opportunity in the end in Germany. But based on what we know of these two, what kind of match do you think we can expect?
I think it's going to be a real opportunity to see. I mean, we can see the accolades on paper from Dennis Bernard. What kind of game plan he brings to the table? What kind of intent does he have? And then for Lamtti, it's kind of a chance for us to catch up, because we don't know, do we, Wes, in terms of what he can bring to the table, because we only know the name. He was supposed to be in Munich, but wasn't able to attend. So it's about to...
it's okay. You can say you don't know. It's all right. It's all right.
This is it. This is what this is all about.
The truth will prevail eventually.
Exactly
I mean, we're also
right.
here to learn, just like everybody else.
That's right.
We don't have enough information as of yet. We're still figuring it out. But I suppose that's part of the thrills, isn't it? The fact that we do have, at every single finals, new people turning up, new people qualifying for this stage, and it just shows, I guess, as well, how healthy the competition is around the world,
Yeah, it's very much a Pandora's box whenever we turn up to these events, because again, if you get brand new players who have not really got a kind of a back catalogue, shall we say, in esports, it kind of can put them on the map. So you of course, we don't know what's going to happen until we open the box. We open the box today. We've got 2 really tight games in the first kind of games that we've already seen today. And of course, you can see briefly now already what's kind of happened to the table. You can see Mr. Tomboy at the top, and you can see Urma at the top of theirs as well.
Do you reckon that it's going to go all the way down to the wire like it did in the last finals that we had? Remember, I mean, both groups, it was still all to be decided. We really didn't have, I think it was just 1 out of the 8 that actually had qualified for the grand finale by the time we'd gotten to the last final, the last match of the group, sorry. Do you think we might see something similar happening today?
I think so. I think it's going to be a real strong possibility that happens, because, again, there's so many accolades across the board, across both groups. You've got 2 different platforms that play differently, and I think by the time it gets down to that final heat, every player will know what result they need, and it's going to just play into that kind of fire versus ice mentality. There'll be some players that need a draw, some that need all 3 points. Both might need all 3 points, so we're going to see a lot of kind of throw caution to the wind gameplay.
Well, you cast your mind back to the schedule. I mean, you look at the games that are or the final 2 games of the live stream. You've got Mr. Tomboy versus Dennis Bernard, and then you've got Urma versus Usmakabyle.
Sure.
So both could be set up to be blockbuster ties, just on the basis of how the rest of these results are going to go. So I think, for us, we're just kind of a viewing public, just waiting and seeing how this is all going to play out. Because as much as we can be, give out predictions, the reality is that anything is possible here.
I tell you what, though, historically speaking, when this man's giving out predictions, he's pretty much always nailed it.
Yeah,
so he's the water diviner of the group.
Yeah. I don't know if you want me picking your name though, because I feel like at some point
that luck's going to run out.
It may have been a case of a broken clock is right twice a day. So at some point, like Wes says,
let's give you the benefit of the doubt for today, okay? Let's extend it a little bit longer and see how it goes. Well, listen, wait no more, because now we are ready to get going, ready to rock and roll for our next match for mobile, and it's going to be Indonesia's Dennis Bernard against Morocco's Lamtti.
Hello guys, my name is Dennis. I'm from Indonesia and I'm the representative from the East Asia region. I feel very grateful to get this opportunity to be able to play in this Arsenal Club Finals event. So obviously I will give my best to become the champion and to become the representative of Arsenal in the eFootball World Finals tournament. So see you guys.
Hello everyone. My name is Lamtti. I'm from Morocco. I hope to play great games in this Arsenal competition and come out as a champion. Let's go.
Hear from the players as always, Wes. We love to hear from them. We love to get a glimpse into what life is like for them before they play these games, what mentality they approach these competitions with. Both men look really up for this. They believe they can make it all the way, and you have to have that belief at this level.
Yeah, that's it. You have to have, confidence, which almost borderlines on arrogance, because you need to have that kind of bravado to really bring your best game. And I think between these two, in between Dennis Bernard, who you said historically has got all of the achievements, Lamtti, of course, is finally able to put his best game forward on the mobile as Jesus is in.
Yeah, looks like it's Lamtti here from Morocco to try and open our scoring. And he's done so in emphatic fashion. It is Jesus in just the 4th minute of the match. Slides it past Ramsdale. Lamtti, who missed out Wes in Munich, now has a chance to introduce himself on the highest stage of this season we have.
Yeah, that was an electric breakaway. And again, it was a defensive lapse, though, that really let Gabriel Jesus in. Lamtti won't care either way of how that's happened. He'll just care that he's put the ball into the back of the net. We'll see it again here. Defensive lapse there. Oh, I think that might have just been a bit of a miss key on the mobile there. You can see that's Ben White trying to get across there, but Gabriel Jesus will not be denied on that occasion. I do love my own reaction shots. Somehow I just look very shocked half the time. Because you just get a sense, though, when goals are coming, it's almost as though you have that appearance as you have it in the stadium, where you kind of get on the edge of your seat.
Of course, Wes, you've been there, done it as well. Former competitor yourself, as Zinchenko just strays offside. So a lot of the reactions are, a lot of it's quite empathetic from you. You've been there, you know what it feels like.
It's a little bit, yeah. The last-minute equalisers and last-minute winners, I have a lot of empathy with players. Of course, not necessarily I was as successful as these guys on the sticks here or on the mobiles. However, you do get a sense of a little bit of camaraderie with everybody, is that you kind of just want a good game of eFootball to watch. It doesn't really matter who wins and who loses. You just want to see a good game.
That you do, and it's, well, set up one way or the other with an early goal. It's the 4th minute of the match. It's Lamtti, 21-year-old from Morocco. He puts himself in prime position against Dennis Bernard, who I from our research, Wes, as one of the players to watch. Of course, Indonesia national champion 22 and 23 has experience at this level. So nice double touch and a stunning strike from quite a ways away. It goes to show that Dennis Bernard knows he needs to come at Lampty now for the rest of the game to try and get something from this.
Yeah, and if there was a nation of players that you would back, Indonesia is well up there in terms of their abilities both on console and on mobile. I would not be surprised if we see a Dennis Bernard equaliser at some point during this game, because he certainly knows his way around. Good little dummy there, wins the free kick.
No advantage to be played, so it will be a free kick at quite an inviting distance. Goes for goal, there's already got all. It's off the frame, Havertz is there. And Ramsdale. Quick to react, needed to, was up to his feet and cures the ball and extinguishes the danger for now for Lampty.
Yeah, it was the width of a crossbar that denied Dennis Bernard. A response in the game. He certainly looked to be growing into it since conceding.
Dennis Bernard starting to put Lampty through the paces in search of his equaliser, but about 10 in-game minutes. Last stoppages till half-time. It is Lampty who holds the advantage. Jesus tries the stunning strike. Anytime see that purple power.
Pritik, kahan hai tu? You're gonna miss the flight. Yeah, I'm boarding.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a trade-off with stunning inputs, is that yes, you'll generate more power, but the accuracy might not always be there. Gabriel clears it away.
2 added minutes has been indicated.
No doubt this will be the final chance of the half, if there is to be a chance. All the way back to the goalie, and we end Lampty 1, Dennis Bernard 0. Which, when we look at it, Wes, don't want to call it an upset, because A, there's still a second half to play, and B, Lampty is proving himself at this point in time. But when you look at Dennis Bernard's experience, you just have to say the 21-year-old from Indonesia, you almost expected a bit more of a fight back in terms of solid chances created. We didn't really get that after this goal.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, again, it's a bit of fortune there for Lampty to get himself in. But again, as we said, you've got to score those opportunities when they're presented, especially in the mobile platform. You have to take those chances. He did with aplomb. But the response from Dennis Bernard has more so been a case of keeping the ball and trying to put pressure on the opponent through possession rather than by chance creation. See a neat little double touch there. It was the only real shot in anger we had, maybe outside of that free kick, as we'll see there, just off the bar. And again, just wasn't enough power on the header. You see me just disgusted with the follow-up header. But yeah, Wes Cam is certainly providing a lot of emotion already, and we're only, what, 2 games in on the live stream.
It is a genius edition. We thank our production, and of course we thank Thomas Muller, strangely, back in the Allianz, was subject to our reaction cam, but to focus back now to our Arsenal FC Club Event Finals. It is Lamptey who currently holds the goal advantage in that second strip for Arsenal. Nice double touch there from Dennis Bernard, the Indonesian, who's chasing, and that's a snapshot. Forced a save with the feet from Ramsdale.
Good one-touch passing there. Led to a one-touch shot, which just, again, didn't have enough power to really trouble the keeper.
Jesus now, oh, he's just run past the entire defence. That cross looked very dangerous.
The attendance for this match was 71,898.
Rice out to White now.
Yeah, Ødegaard on the right-hand side here. Rice into Jesus. Tomiyasu clears it away. And again, I think that is going to be the kind of the game plan here with time ticking down. It's a case of if that ball touches, I think, a defender of Lamptey, he's going to be clearing his lines almost immediately. We'll see it again there. Again, so long as the ball is kept in play, it will just tick the clock over. Rice plays it forward, and Dennis Bernard looking to try and find an opportunity here. Jorginho, Ødegaard in towards Jesus. Great double touch, control off the post. Huge opportunity there.
Arguably the best of the game so far for Dennis Bernard, but needs to keep his wits about him now. Defensive duties followed through. By Tomiyasu. But it is a great point you raise, Wes. We often speak about it. The mobile platform does just have quicker gameplay, quicker in-game clock, and it's just 10 in-game minutes go now until Lamptey potentially secures 3 points. Jesus here for Bernard. Back to him, looking for Ben White, pushed up, but oh, he's lost it on the other side. Havertz, who can he find? It's Jorginho! Oh no! Oh no, he's just dragged it wide.
How's he missed?
How has he missed, Wes?
I'm in disbelief at that opportunity. How has he missed? The goal was gaping. The goal was there. All Jorginho has to do is just side foot it in, and instead he's just hooked it wide.
You have to wonder at this stage of the game, with most of the chances for Dennis Bernard coming from outside the box, double touches, free kicks. Our first real solid open chance, as we'll take a look now.
Let's see it again here. He's got more of the goal to shoot at.
There's no pressure on him.
And you can see me mouth there. How has he missed? It's absolutely right. How did he miss? I'm absolutely dumbfounded. But again, as players, with the greatest of respect to Jorginho, maybe not the player you want latching onto that ball in and around that area. If that had been Gabriel Jesus, I think that's maybe a different conversation.
Yes.
But with Jorginho being that high up, and of course those types of chances at premium, bear in mind the chance came from a bit of a lax giveaway from Lamptey with Ben White on the left-hand side.
That's right.
That is a real gimme of an opportunity, and it's just gone by the wayside for Dennis Bernard.
Well, with only 5 or so in-game minutes left, will Mr. Bernard live to regret that missed chance? That was a real solid chance. And the reason we reacted as we did, Wes, is because not only is time against him, but also those are the chances you have to take at this level. Will he get another one? Jorginho just trying to force the issue. It's party though for Lamptey, playing for territory at this point. Oh, that's a rough giveaway, and it is all over now. Lamptey with the 3 points here. His first match of the group stages secures all 3 points. We've been waiting months to see him compete, Wes. He introduces himself perfectly.
Yeah, it's a big statement win, that is. Again, in terms of the way that we spoke about Dennis Bernard, in terms of, yeah, we talk a lot about paper. We talk a lot about the accolades of these players. But it's about how you execute. And clearly, Lamptey had that game plan of get a goal.
Yeah.
And the minute it touches a defender, it's going all the way back up front. Doesn't matter whether it lands with his player. It was just more a case of defensive smarts, shall we say, because it's having that game plan. Again, he got it there to get Jesus in to score, but then the rest of it is defensive rear guard. But it's that chance for Jorginho that Dennis Bernard is going to look back on that one and say, if only will be the only thing that will go through his head.
It really will. I have to ask the question, going to make you look into your crystal ball at this point. Our opening 2 games have seen goals within the opening 5 minutes on mobile. Is that likely to be a repeating storyline we see throughout the Arsenal club event finals? Because you have pace, Jesus, who obviously is able to run. You've got pace all over the place with Arsenal. Do you think that's going to be something that mobile players will look for as an effective tactic, but also look to defend?